Hi, everybody. This is Erica from In the Company of Cards, back with you again. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here before. This is a channel, as most of you know, where I use Lenormand to look at, the issues of the day. Um, so you know that I am using a different deck for this month. It is sort of a festive holiday deck. Lots of you liked it. Lots of you also said that you uh, like my cards. And I will tell you that I want to remind you that on December 18th, which is a Thursday at 1 p.m. and at 5 p.m. Pacific time, I will be doing free readings for your personal questions. Um, and that will be available to everyone to watch in real time. But I will focus on member questions. If you're not a member, you can hit the join button under the video, and that will tell you how to do that. You can join for a month and then unjoin if you want. That's fine. But I will be focusing on member questions, and I will be using my own deck for those questions, as opposed to this one that I'm using this month. Several of you, again, liked this pretty little deck that I have that was gifted to me. It's and wanted to know how to find it. So, they wanted the actual spelling of it. But anyway, here it is. It's the Merry, Merry, like, Merry Christmas. The Merry Bell, Belle. So you got to put the E on the end of it. The Mary Bell Lenormand. Right. And I think that the person who got it for me got it from Etsy. So if you just put in the Etsy search engine, the Mary Bell, Merrybelle, Lenormand, you can find it. Mary as in Merry Christmas, Belle as the French word for beautiful, Belle. Okay. Um, so I had a few things I thought I would look at today. First off, I know there were several people who were not thrilled with my prediction about Afton Bain in her Tennessee race. I like Afton Bain very much. I think she's terrific, and I think she's got a terrific future moving forward. But I did see her losing her race, and people didn't care for that. But I mean, I'm not here to tell you only what you like to hear. Sometimes I see things here that I don't like, but the cards are the cards. And I always try to make a distinction between what my opinion is, which I occasionally will give here, and what the cards are saying. Sometimes they align those things, sometimes those things don't align. Here, of course, they did not align. I was hoping Afton Bell would win, but I saw her loss. I will remind you that she had a single digit loss only to Van Epps. And that's very good news for Democrats looking ahead to the midterms, because this was a district that the felon won by, I think, something like 22 points. And Van Epps only won over Afton Bell by 8 points. So the noose is tightening around Republican necks. Pardon that uh, image, but you know what I mean. And that's very good news. So, anyway, sorry it was not the outcome that any of us on this channel anyway wanted, but I have to tell you what I see, right? Of course. Um, an issue that I don't think I have to look at, but I just wanted to let you know if any of you are concerned about this, has to do with the felon's declaration that he is going to void all of the everything that Biden passed using the autopen. A, because he used an autopen, and B, because the felon's argument is that Biden was not, we'll just say, of sound mind. I was just listening to Glenn Kirshner, and he had an expert on. Her name is Kim Whale. I think it's Whehle, and a constitutional expert. And she says it's not a thing. It's not a thing. Technically, there is no rule that says that a president has to write anything down, even. Certainly not that it has to be written in black as opposed to blue ink, or that it has to be, manually as opposed to the auto pen. So that is not a thing that the felon is able to do. It is true that presidents do overturn their predecessors' rulings all the time, but the pretext for it cannot be the way that he signed, the way that Biden signed. Nor, by the way, is state of mind apparently taken into account, which is to say that that second reason, which the felon gave, which is that his argument was that Biden was not in his right mind, senile or whatever he wants to call him, that also is not legitimate. So we can put our minds at rest about that. Felon says a lot of things, and they are not holy writ. Most of them are not holy writ. So we can put that one to the side. Another thing I wanted to mention before I get into the meat of today is that something I said in my last video was that, when I looked at the weeks moving forward, the different weeks of December, I said that holiday notwithstanding, the Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa time approaching, irrespective of that, that the Epstein saga would once again heat up. And in fact, here it is, it has in fact heated up with new photographs from the Virgin Islands property um, of Epstein, and also with a civil lawsuit that has been filed against the felon and the Epstein estate, I'm sure, and also against the felon's DOJ, because the felon and the DOJ have not investigated the Epstein situation uh, in regard to its multinational scope. So, of course, one of the things that the felon and Epstein did was they had an entire international operation, cloaked under the guise of beauty contests and other things, where women, and girls, children from, uh, I'm going to say, Eastern European and Northern European countries primarily were in the end trafficked. So there is a lawsuit by some of these survivors who are separate and distinct and apart from the American contingent of women whom we have seen. This is a whole different thing. So again, I saw that uh, heating up, and sure enough, here we are. So I feel like I just want to look quickly at that. Um, so this is a civil suit, right? So there's no jail time or anything being asked for. This is monetary damages. So I guess what I want to look at is how will that suit move the Epstein needle forward? How will that, or will it move the needle forward? What will happen to this whole Epstein saga now that there is this new lawsuit by victims who apparently the Justice Department, Trump's Department of, Pam Bondi, knew nothing about, and knew nothing about because they didn't do their due diligence to find out. So how will that affect things? So I'll just let Spirit pick all the cards. And again, we're using the Mary Bell Lenormand. So it's pretty clear. I don't think I need to pull more than five. Here we've got Santa on his reindeer, and this is the card for rider. That means that what news can we take away from now this new suit and these photographs from Epstein's Island? So we have the rider, we have the moon, we have the house, we have the clover, and I'll hold off on the fifth card. So news is coming in that will affect the reputation of the felon. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, that's Clover, and affect his standing as the president in the White House. Now, the rider again, what is the news? The felon's going to be dead in the water behind this scandal. This will be his undoing. Coffin here. Uh, Again, his reputation, as if it's not bad enough with any thinking group of people, will be affected fast, really fast. I think that someone, who was it that said this? I've actually said it myself before, so I don't know if they're quoting me or if I'm quoting them. But I said a while ago that while the sex piece of this scandal is terrible, it's awful, what really is even more um, pressing for us to pay attention to is that we're talking about a business model. This was a business. It was a global business, and the currency. Well, the currency was money, obviously, but they were trading in human lives, basically. So it's much more than, it's much broader. It's a sort of a business model, an economic model. And the fact that people got away with it was because they were rich and powerful. If you're regular run-of-the-mill average guys were involved in this, it wouldn't be such a big deal. And or your average run-of-the-mill guys would have been in trouble over this. But everybody winked and turned their head away and were complicit. And why? Because that's how the rich and powerful get away with things. So I think that these two latest things, one, this civil suit by all of these women, I mean, it's a lot of them, about the multinational nature of this enterprise, um, as well as the documentation that's pouring out about the Virgin Islands and just more documentation every day is coming out. I think that's what's going to bury the felon, and I think that's why he's been so particularly ugly of late in his manner and his speech because he knows he's going down. All right. Speaking of going down, Pete Hegseth, I have seen from the beginning. If you remember, the reason the felon liked him, remember what he did for a living. He was a stand-in host, weekend host, I think it was a weekend, on Fox Network. And the felon thought that Pete Hegseth looked like, quote, central casting for somebody that should be head of the Department of War, Defense Department, known to the rest of us as the Defense Department. Hegseth has been in the hot seat before, as we know, and now he's in the hot seat again. There has been official finding that his usage of the Signal app to do classified business, it was found to have endangered troops. So that's a new thing, that it has actually not just been speculated to have done that, but has been found to have endangered troops. That's one. The second is his call for murder on the high seas, off the Venezuelan coast. It was international waters when those two survivors from that boat were blown up on his orders. He's trying to pass off responsibility for that to an admiral who did carry out the order. But where did the order come from in the first place? It was Pete Hegseth. And we know that in the military world, the top guy has to take responsibility. But of course, how would Pete Hegseth know? He's not really a military guy. So he is trying to shirk responsibility. Uh, People in my comments love telling me that Hegseth's not going anywhere, that the felon will never get rid of him, et cetera, et cetera. He will be gone. And I have seen this from the beginning. Hegseth will lose his job. I guess the question is, will he be forced to resign? Because that's what it would mean, taking responsibility for having given this illegal order. He should, if he were a man of honor, he wouldn't have given the command in the first place, but okay, he should resign. Um, but but people are saying that the felon would never fire him. I think that the felon's position is tenuous enough in his own party that they could twist his arm and force him to either fire Hegseth or force him to pull Hegseth aside and say, listen, man, you got to resign. So I'm going to one more time look at Hegseth and see what we see. Every time I pull for him, he's gone. Uh, so, you know, that's what I continue to see, but I'm going to look for him. I'm going to look for the man. I put the extra man and woman back in this deck. So there's two men and there's two women. Um, I will use whatever man pops up first for Hexa. Okay, so that stands for Pete Hegseth. Mhm. Okay, it's very interesting because the cards start out really good. We have the stork, which means positive change. We have the key, which is a yes card. So these look great, right? In the center, we have Hegseth. Fourth card is the heart. Oh, but look at the last card, the cross. So every good thing that has happened to him, the affection that the felon has had for him, the fact that he had the key to the kingdom of the Department of Defense or War, whatever he wants to call it, his thinking that he had weathered that first storm of signal, all of those things come to a screeching halt with the cross at the end of the line. He will be leaving his office. Frankly, I don't care how he leaves. I don't care whether he's fired. I don't care if he quits. I don't care if it's because the Republican Congress goes to the felon and says, listen, he got to go. I don't care how it happens. I don't think we should care how it happens either. Fact of the matter is, Hegseth will be gone and soon, soon. Okay. Um, I've seen some talk of late about let's go across the pond, shall we, and look at Great Britain, the royal family. I heard or read that normally the royal family all go to church in the morning And then they go to the castle at Sandringham. That's where they celebrate Christmas. For 2 years, the past 2 years, William and Kate have not, they've gone to church with everybody, with the children, but then they have retired to their own home, Anmer Hall. And word on the street is that that will happen again for the third time. That William and his little family of Princess Catherine and the three kids are not going to partake in the family lunch at Sandringham, but will instead spend the day at their own home with the Middletons, who are Kate's family. Uh, I would like to know why. So I think I'll let Spirit pull all the cards. Why? I mean, Charles is sick, and I'm going to look at that in a minute. So he's not well. You would think that, you know, it was his wish that uh, William and his family join the king and Camilla and whoever else at Sandringham. But, why is William saying, yeah, nah, pass. Thanks so much. Okay, but no. Okay. So we'll pull full 5 cards and see if we can answer that question. Okay, interesting. So we have man, we have woman. Remember, I said I was keeping both men cards and both women cards in the deck. Well, who shows up? Another woman, clover, and ring. Okay. So, why has William chosen to not go to Sandringham with his dad and extended family, but instead to spend Christmas with the Middletons at William and Kate's home, Anmer Hall? This is William. The second card is Kate. This third card, in my opinion, what I think is Camilla. This fourth card, which is Clover, is about happiness. And then we have this ring at the end. I love that ring. It's so pretty. But at any rate, William has put front and center his own personal family, meaning Princess Catherine and the children. So I can mirror William with the ring. He's putting the woman whom he married and the children that they had first. He wants to make Kate happy, especially after everything that Kate's gone through with her health challenges, right? But I thought what was so interesting is this card in the middle. So that's the card that I pulled clarifiers on. This card in the middle is Camilla, and the clarifiers are the mountain, the house, and the crossroads. There is no love lost between William and Camilla, which I am glad to hear because I mean, if you know, you know, right? So he wants to keep distance between himself and her. And I also don't think that Camilla has been particularly uh, polite and generous, kind towards Kate, calling her middle class like that's a problem. But I guess for Camilla, whatever. So it's to put a barrier between uh, his family and Camilla. Uh, you know, his house, his family, his rules. And so he chooses a different path from his father. So this is clearly William's decision. It is what Kate wants, and it's because ultimately of Camilla. I actually have also heard through the grapevine, I don't know if this is true, but we can look, that Charles has been considering inviting Andrew to join the family at Sandringham. Now, of course, we know that Andrew has been banished to a portion of Sandringham, but we also know that he hasn't left yet. He has not left Royal Lodge. And we've heard that he is making a lot of demands still, financial demands. Also, he wants a different property in Sandringham than the one that was offered to him. He wants one that's much grander with more rooms, etc. And he wants millions more dollars. And technically, uh, Charles cannot evict him from Royal Lodge because he signed a 75-year lease, and the 75 years are not up yet. So I'm just going to ask whether Andrew will be joining the family for Christmas at Sandringham, or is he just going to play with his teddy bears and watch TV in his bedroom at Royal Lodge? So let's see. Will he join the family? Will he be invited to join the family and then join the family at Sandringham? Or will he not? Uh, Interesting. So I don't think that Andrew is any part of the reason why William and his family are not attending, because I think Andrew will be a non-entity. I don't think he'll be invited. We have the house, the man, the scythe, the bear, and the mice. So, um, this would be the castle, at Sandringham. I think I can mirror this with the mice, which means that this will be a relatively stripped down, very small affair because Andrew won't be there. For Sarah Ferguson won't be there. Eugenie and Beatrice, their children, will not be there. Uh, William and Kate and the three children of that marriage will not be there. It will be a very small affair at Sandringham. Uh, Now, probably Anne and her family will be there because I would think she would be there. But to me, this is Andrew. Andrew being really aggressive about what his demands are. And so this is Charles, who at first felt sorry for his little brother and would have invited him, but now has given him the axe because there's the scythe. So don't expect to see Andrew anywhere near that larger family occasion. All right. Um, how is Charles doing? How is his health? I think what I'm going to do is use the card for health, which is the tree, and see what's around it. Spirit knows because I've intended that Spirit knows that I'm looking at Charles's health. How is Charles's health? Again, the grapevine says not good, but let's see what the cards have to say. How is Charles's health? So remember, we're looking for the tree. Okay. So this card, this little Christmas tree, stands for Charles's health. And you know how illness can be weird, right? Like you might have if you're very sick, you might rally and feel better, and then you don't. That's what these cards say. So we have the stork, we have the bear, we have the tree, and then we have clouds and snake. So he may have felt like he was doing better. I suspect he made some decisions. The bear is the boss. And I mean, if you're a king, pretty sure you're a boss, but he may have made some choices about his health care. Like, um, I don't like how I feel when I'm taking those, whatever I'm taking. And so I'm going to make an executive decision that I would like to feel better. I'd like to feel better instead of sick from treatment. So he made that decision. Tree is his health. And that of course has negative cascading effects. So clouds and snake mean that his health is has gotten worse. And that makes it sort of all the sadder that the family will not be together for the holiday. But you know, so yeah, he is not doing well, and you can kind of tell that William is kind of measuring the curtains, meaning he's ready to take over, which is kind of unattractive when you think about it. I mean, but he's giving that vibe. So Charles's health is in decline. With seeing both the clouds and the snake, I would say by spring we may get some sad news about Charles. Okay. Um, the last question has nothing to do with any of this. It does have to do with someone that I mentioned, I think a week or two ago, as someone who, you know, I don't like her politics, uh, and I also think she can be uh, conspiracy driven. But even a broken clock is right twice a day, and so I would like to look at Candace Owens. Again, word on the street has it that there is, and she has said that she's gotten information that there is a hit out on her life. Um, she is getting closer and closer to the nucleus of what's going on at Turning Point USA, and not showing that organization in a positive light at all. She's also seeming to be inching her way towards saying some less than positive things about the Merry Widow, Erica. Why does her name have to be Erica? But anyway, she spells it wrong, so it's okay. Um, Between that and the whole Macron thing, which, first of all, pretty sure Brigitte Macron is not a man, A. B, if she is, who cares? Like, why is that your business? What's it to you, Candace? But anyway, I would like to know whether there is a hit out on her. I'm gonna let spirit no, I'm gonna pick whichever woman pops up first. That will be Candace. And I would like to know, uh, you know what? Let's mix things, shall we? Here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna use. my cards because I don't want them to think that I have forgotten them. We're going to use this card for Candace Owens, and then I will pull cards with the Christmas deck to see what's around her. Okay. So Candace is in the middle, and I want to know whether she is in danger. Oops. Dropping the cards. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Is she in any danger of being um, escorted off this planet some kind of way? Okay. Interesting. So we have the sun, we have the stork, we have Candace Owens, we have the birds, and we have the gentleman. And I pulled clarifiers on all but the first two. You know, one of the things that she does is she tries to uncover information, right? I mean, she's got a million some subscribers across her platforms, millions if you go, think of all her platforms. Her podcast is very popular because she uncovers stuff. She has a whole team of people who work with her. And the sun, as I always remind you, they say it's the best card in the deck, and that's true sometimes. But it also it acts as a searchlight, as sunshine. It shows things that maybe people don't want to see, which, that can make people want to stop you, right? Um, now, in her naivete, she's doing it, she thinks, for the greater good. So, for example, she wants to uncover what exactly actually happened to Charlie Kirk. I don't think I'm a conspiracist, but there are a lot of weird things that happen around that killing. She wants to um, find out what happened in a way that other people who claim to have been close to Charlie don't seem to want to do. Okay, she's in the middle, and the fourth card is birds, and she's created a lot of buzz. Like, yeah, why were those Egyptian planes there? And yeah, why was everybody wearing a maroon shirt? Oh, here I am wearing maroon. But anyway, um, she creates buzz, she creates stir, she creates gossip. That's what she does. But she tells herself that it's from a good place. Uh, and then we have whoever this guy is. I don't know. He strikes me as being kind of mysterious. And I can mirror him with the sun. So things are being uncovered, and this person has some thoughts on that. So I pulled clarifiers on Candace herself. And the cards I have are the bouquet, the fish, and the woman. Here's what I think. This is Candace. I really do think that she was very fond of Charlie Kirk. I think that uh, Charlie, wanting to keep her on side and, didn't mind having her as a friend, etc. But I think she cared more about him than he cared about her. At any rate, she says that she was one of the founding members of Turning Point USA. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I do think that she thought that on his death, Erica would bring her more into the fold, reward her. Bouquet is the card for a reward. Reward Candace for her friendship with Charlie, her loyalty to Charlie. I think she thought she'd be rewarded by Erica. And the fact that she has not, because Erica's been like, Candace who? She has some feelings around that. Now, this is neither here nor there in relation to the question of whether there's a hit on her. But I do think it's interesting. These are the cards that are clarifying Candace's card here. So it's just information that Spirit wants us to know that uh, Candace's nose is put out of joint about the fact that Erica has not rewarded her, pulled her closer, um, made her, you know, co-leader of Turning Point USA. Now, there's a lot of gossip, a lot of talk around all of this. And the clarifiers for these birds are the bear, the clouds, and the garden. So this is all the gossip that Candace has stirred up. Um, she's she is actually kind of taken charge of, like a bear does, the narrative. And this has cast some doubt in the minds of the public, gardens, the public. This is the doubt that she has been able to cast in the minds of the public on that organization and on that death. They would just as soon she shut up. Now, we have I don't know, this guy gives me assassin vibes. I'm just going to say it is my intuitive feeling. The clarifiers do not decrease that feeling. We have the cross, the tower, and the mountain. I think that someone or some someones, more than one, have been tasked with shutting her up, putting her to the side, isolating her, blocking her in a way that will be painful. So, do I think there is a hit on her? I do. Do I think that it's the French? I don't know. I mean, I doubt it. I mean, I think she's more of like a nuisance to the Macrons than anything else. But I do think she presents a very clear and present danger to the future of Turning Point USA. And so here's our first card. The light that she has shed on the people surrounding Charlie and the circumstances of his death. Somebody, our guy there, wants to block that light, right? To eclipse that sun. So I think if I were she, I would watch my back, watch my front, don't leave my drink unattended, don't eat anything offered to you by some random person. Um, I think she is in some danger. Yeah. Now again, her mouth gets her in trouble. She is kind of out there and just says whatever. She doesn't think. I think it comes from a place of naivete. I really do. Thinking that she's doing something for the greater good. That's what she tells herself. Um, and truth is light. That's true. But she needs to be careful. She has three children. She needs to be careful. Well, that was wild. All right, everybody. That's it for today. Tomorrow, I will be writing on Substack. If you're over there, look for my piece that I will be composing tomorrow. And otherwise, I will see you back here uh, Thursday. And take care. Happy Tuesday or whatever this is. Is this Tuesday or is this Wednesday? I don't even know what day it is. Tuesday. Wait, is today Tuesday? It's Wednesday. Oh my God. Yes. So I will definitely see you here on Friday, but Thursday's normally my day to write Substack. So that's where you can find me. Please do like, share, subscribe, hype, comment. I read all your comments and really appreciate all of them. And I will see you very soon. Take care.